In the Battle of Badr with the Muslims, the great leader of the Quraysh Mecca were killed, due to which every house of the Quraysh Mecca mourned, and they were anxious to take the revenge from the Muslim of his defeat. The Quraysh Mecca were eager to take the revenge. This war, the war of the Swaiq, was fought by the Quraysh Mecca to take the revenge from the Muslims. In this war, the non-Muslim, the Quraysh Mecca, who were the worst enemy of the Muslim, set fire to some oases and some houses in the Medina, killed the former and fled back to Mecca. This battle was fought exactly after the 2-month Battle of Badr in the month of Zulhijjah 2 Hijri. In this war, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was leading on the side of Muslims, while on the other side, Abu Sufyan was the commander of the Quraysh Mecca, who was the worst enemy of the Muslim by that time. And after a long time, he accepted the Islam. The total number of the Muslims in this battle is completely unknown. And on the other side, there were 200 camel riders in the army of the Abu Sufyan. In this war, 2 Muslim farmers were martyred. Fields were set on fire and some houses were burned. And on the side of the non-Muslims, did not suffer any loss of life or financial loss. This battle took place 88 kilometers away from the Medina. This place is located far away from the city of Medina and near to the city of Mecca. The main reason for this war was that the Quraysh Mecca had been defeated in the Battle of Badr, and Muslim had won that battle. And in that battle, the great leader and warriors of Quraysh Mecca were killed. And in that battle, Abu Sufyan's son was captured and many people of his tribe were killed. So Abu Sufyan was considered one of the great leaders and powerful people in the Quraysh of Mecca. The defeat of the Battle of Badr was unbearable for him. Abu Sufyan had vowed that he would neither have intercourse with his wife nor use the perfume. Even he will not take the bath until he took the revenge of his defeat of Badr from the Prophet of Muhammad. Because Abu Sufyan had accepted this vow in the front of his tribe, it became the imperative for him to fulfill it. When some time passed, the situation became the worse for Abu Sufyan and his anger continued to increase. So he decided to attack on the Muslim to fulfill his vow, war preparation and departure. Abu Sufyan prepared an army of the 200 camel riding warriors for this battle. This army left the Mecca in the morning time. This army went near the Medina and encamped at the place. The name of that place was Sab. The Jews of Banu Nazir tribe in the Medina had received the information that Abu Sufyan's army had arrived. Because the Jews were enemy of the Muslims like the Quraysh Mecca. Because the Prophet Muhammad has taken the all power and the politics from the Jews in the Medina. Abu Sufyan thought that the Jews would also help him against the Muslim in this war. Thinking this, Abu Sufyan reached at fort of the Jews Banu Nazir alone at the night time. On reaching there, Abu Sufyan knocked on the door of Hayy bin Akhtab. At the night time, he was the biggest Jew, but he did not open the door because he had received the news of arrival of Abu Sufyan's army. After that, Abu Sufyan went to the other Jew's door, whose name was Salam bin Mushkam, who was the leader of the Jews. Abu Sufyan told him that he wanted to attack at the Muslim to take his revenge. He agreed with Abu Sufyan. On the one hand, he gave the information about the Muslims, and on the other hand, he provided the information about the Muslims. After that, Abu Sufyan left here before the dawn and joined his army again. But Abu Sufyan was afraid to fight with the Muslims. Well, instead of war, he decided to looting the Muslims near the Medina. Then during the daytime, Abu Sufyan army went to the town in the Medina and starting the looting the common people and the farmer people. During the looting, the Abu Sufyan army killed the two farmers working there, set fire to the empty houses, and also set fire to some oases. After doing all this, the army of the Abu Sufyan started running back toward the Mecca due to fear of the Muslims. Abu Sufyan did this attack to fulfill his vow, which was a foolish step, but he also was afraid of the Muslims. When the news of this attack was received by the Prophet Muhammad, he ordered the Muslims' army to be prepared without any delay. The army of the Muslims was quickly prepared, and Prophet of God appointed Hazrat Abu Lubaba as his successor in the Medina and took the command of the army himself. On the other hand, Abu Sufyan's army cowardly was running back toward the Mecca to save their lives. Abu Sufyan's army was so afraid of the Muslims that they were driving their camels fast, and they were throwing down to the top-loaded food to speed up their camels. The army of the Muslims chased Abu Sufyan's army for the 88 kilometers, but they escaped after saving his life. And so the army of the Muslims returned after the 5-day campaign without any battle.